A very warm welcome in the class of matrix. Today our topic is the solution of system of linear equations. On this topic we are going to take two classes. This is the first class. Myself Rupak Bhattacharjee, Assistant Professor, Department of Mathematics, GIS College of Engineering. So this discussion has some prerequisites, and those are: what is the meaning of linear equation? In the class of consistency, inconsistency of a system of linear equations, we have discussed what is the meaning of linear equation and what is the meaning of system of linear equations. And also we have discussed that what we mean by the solution of system of linear equation. In this class actually we are going to emphasize how to find out those solutions. And obviously we need the symmetry or the pattern what we get in the class of consistency, just to verify that how that particular concept is going to be important in this discussion. So let us go into the topic directly. So we know already that a linear equation is something like that, where a1 x1 plus a2 x2 plus dot 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 an xn is there, and we know that this b is a constant term, and we are having n number of variables over here, x1 x2 up to xn, and this a1 a2 an all are constants. So if I want to see that what is the system of linear equations, so it will contain the equations which all of them are linear. So it is a11 x1 plus a12 x2 plus dot 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 a1n xn is equal to b1. If the first equation is clear, then nothing but all the equations are of same type. Look at this. It is represented in such a way so that you get some similarity with some previously known structure, and the structure is nothing but a structure of a matrix. So in general, what we are doing, the elements of the matrix are represented by its index as row number and column number. So if you think its position a11, it is nothing but the first row first column position. So it is second row second column position, third row third column position, first row first column position, first row second column position, first row third column position, first row nth column position. So what you are getting, how many columns already identified by you. So how many columns? In columns you are getting. And how many equations? First row, second row, third row, mth row. So you are getting m number of rows. So if you just concentrate on this system, it will be clear to you that number of unknowns you are getting, which is equal to same as number of columns. So the number of unknowns what you are getting here, what we are talking about, number of unknowns or number of variables basically. So it is same as n, and number of equations is nothing but the number of rows. So number of equations are nothing but the number of rows in this system of linear equations. So from the matrix point of view, it is nothing but 1 m cross n system. Already this information is known to us, that a system of equations is said to be consistent if the system has at least one solution. So this system, if have only one, at least one solution, it will be consistent. If it is only one solution, it is unique solution. If it is having many solutions, then obviously you can claim it that infinitely many solutions are there. And if there is no solution, then it is going to be termed as inconsistent. So all these are discussed according to its characteristics point of view in the last class. Also we have discussed some solution, but in a bigger system, how to tackle this one, we are going to discuss this in this class. So the previous system of equations can be written in the form of Ax equal to b, what I have already introduced to you, that in matrix form. Why we are writing it matrix form? It will be clear to you within a minute. So look at this. In the rows a11, a12, dot 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 a1n, all the coefficients of x1, x2, x3 up to xn, and a21, a22, a2n. This is the second equation with all the coefficients of x1, x2, x3, xn, and this is the mth equation. So it is one m cross n system. I am going to show you, rather I am going to show you one thing where your job is to identify that what ambiguity or rather what inconsistency are there in the representation of a matrix, because the order of the matrix here is very important. Is it square one? If it is rectangular one, if the number of rows is greater than number of columns, if the number of columns is greater than number of rows, whatever, the orders are very important. So just after a few seconds you are going to see some matrix where you have to identify the concept of order where if there is any error. So please now concentrate. And x is nothing but x1, x2, xn. So how many rows are there? N. And how many columns are there? 1. So it is nothing but n cross 1, and obviously it is also n cross 1. So it gives us this confidence that ax equal to b a m cross n, x n cross 1 is equal to b, and b has to be m cross 1. So it is b1, b2 up to bn. If I write, am I right? Please go to the previous system. What is this? bm. I think you have observed this one. Now come to this system. What is this? bn. So if I write it is bn, am I right? Look at this. This will give you the justification that m cross n, n cross 1. So it has to be m cross 1, but you are writing it n. So if you are writing it n cross 1, you are wrong. So please be cautious about these observations, that if it is b1, b2 up to, then it will be up to bm. So please be aware about these facts. Similarly, I am going to define another matrix which is called augmented matrix. See, it is actually written as a slash b in this form. That means the matrix A will be written here, then in another part matrix B will be written here. As the number of rows in the matrix A and the number of rows in the matrix B is same, you can write it, and the number of column will be increased by 1 because B is a column matrix. So similarly, please observe this one. If this is your m cross n matrix and if this is your m cross 1 matrix, what will be this? How many rows are there? M. How many rows are there? M. But if the number of columns are n here, and if you are adding one column here, is it going to be m cross n? No. So that here also you get some error, that is it is going to be m cross n plus 1. This is the order of the augmented matrix. So this concept is required in the next step, because whenever we are having one system of linear equations, we are converting it into its matrix form. After that we will generate the augmented matrix of A slash B, and this order is very important because consequently we will know that we are going to find out the, so let us make it, no, I am making it clear to you. So it is going to be the rank of the matrix. I thought that I will make it clear to you after some time, but okay, you know the concept of rank. So our job is to find out the rank of this augmented matrix and some more. So the order of this thing is very important. Now if we are taking non-homogeneous system, already what is non-homogeneous system is discussed to you in the last class. Ax equal to b, that means all the elements of this matrix B column vector actually is not zero, with m linear equations and n unknowns of the following conditions hold. Please concentrate. The system is consistent, we know the meaning. if and only if rank of A is equal to rank of C, please try to identify that now you are merging the concept of rank with this discussion of solution of system of linear equations, what you have started learning in your class 7. But then there was no concept of matrix, then there was no concept of rank, but you are able to find out the solution of this system if that exists. If the dimension of that particular thing, that means the number of rows, number of columns, number of unknown variables are increased, it was not possible for us to find out the solution. Even if it is not possible for us to decide whether the solution exists or not for that system. That is why there the matrix representation of the system as well as the rank comes into the action, and the concept of rank is going to help us whether the system is consistent or not, and if it is consistent, what type of solution it will give us. So Ax is equal to B is given. We can find out the rank of the matrix A by two techniques. We are obviously going to use the technique of echelon form because it will be easier for us, and we have to find out parallelly the rank of C. C means nothing but the augmented matrix A slash B, and if they are same, then we can say that the system is consistent. But we can't say till now that okay, it is consistent, then what type of solution it is going to have, unique or many. So next the condition is coming as the system will have unique solution, that means only one solution. If rank of A is equal to rank of C, it is required, we know that, but it has to be equal to n, where m is equal to n, that means if it is a square system then it is equal to n, m and n equal to same, and that has to be equal to the rank of A is rank of C, or m if greater than n means number of rows if greater than number of columns, then it has to be equal to n, that means it has to be equal to number of columns. And what the number of columns indicates, number of unknown variables, number of unknown variables, what actually you are finding out, trying to find out. So in a nutshell we can say, if the rank of A is equal to rank of C is equal to number of unknowns, then this particular information gives us that it will give us unique solution. These first two parts give us consistency, and the three things actually gives us, the three things equality actually gives us the uniqueness of the solution. So obviously the next question will come, okay, so in the case of consistency, what is the relationship between rank that we can decide it is going to have infinitely many solutions? So the system has infinitely many solutions. If rank of A is equal to rank of C, it is required because it is the condition for consistency. But if it is less than n, means if the number of unknowns is greater than the rank of A or rank of C, when m is equal to n, that means in the square matrix, or m is greater than n. But in some cases where the number of rows are less than number of columns, then the rank of A is equal to rank of C has to be less than equal to m when m is less than n. So in both the cases, please try to understand. Ultimately, if rank of A is equal to rank of C is less than number of unknowns, if less than number of unknowns, then only you can claim it is consistent, but the number of solutions is not one, it is having infinitely many solutions. All these things will be clear when we are going to show you by examples, and that is why we have kept two classes for this, because there are three variations from the concept of rank we have to show all these things, and obviously we are going to show you one very important concept, that when we are going to find out rank we are going to use elementary row operations for this specific approach. Why column operation is not going to be used, that is going to be discussed and explicitly will be make it clear to you. So if rank of A is not equal to rank of C, obviously in the definition, if it is not consistent, it is inconsistent. So if rank of A is equal to rank of C means consistent. So rank of A not equal to rank of C will give you the concept of inconsistency. So this is the interrelationship between consistency of a system of linear equation with the rank of the augmented matrix and the coefficient matrix. So this is a very strong relationship of consistency and rank, or you can say that this is a very strong application of rank of a matrix in the field of solution of system of linear equations. So let us move forward. Now we are trying to show you how a system is going to be solved by row eliminations, or rather you can say it's row operations. First of all, take this example. What is this? There are three unknowns x1, x2, x3, and there are three variables. There are three row equations: first equation, second equation, third equation. So if I represent it in terms of matrix, then what will be this? 1 minus 2 1 0 2 minus 8, then minus 4 5 9, this is my A, then my X. What will be X? X1, X2, X3. Very good. AX is equal to B. What is your B now? It is 0, then 8, then minus 9. So this is the matrix form of the given equation where I can claim it as AX equal to B. And look at this also. This is your augmented matrix A slash B. So in the next step, what we are doing, we are trying to eliminate x1 except the first equation. So what in the second equation x1 is absent, in the third equation x1 is there with a minus 4 coefficient. So if I multiply the first equation by 4 and subtract it from the third equation, then what we get, multiplying by 4, and if we add it we can get it 0. That means the coefficients will be vanished. So it will be, first equation will kept as it was, second equation is also kept as it was, third equation, look at this, minus 9 plus 4 into 0 will be minus 9, minus 4 plus 4 into x1, so it will be 0, 5x2 plus 4 into minus 2x2, that means minus 8. So 5 minus 8 is minus 3, and similarly it is 13. So from this to this system we have removed x1, and parallelly the new form of the augmented matrix comes as this. I think you have already started observing that it is also falling into the structure of the steps of echelon form, because number of zeros preceding the first non-zero element we have started increasing. It was 1, it was again no zeros are there, we have introduced 1 0. So in the next step what we are seeing, that x1 minus 2x2, then x3 is kept as it was, then this is from this equation we have taken common 2, and it make x2 minus 4x3 is equal to 4. So similarly it is divided by 2, or you can call it that it is a scalar multiplication by 1 by 2, which is allowed because 1 by 2 is non-zero. So it is coming as like this. There I want to give you one tips. If in any step, if you are having any confusion, please recall or please make a pause over here. Solve a problem of echelon form conversion of a given matrix by elementary row operations, because we know that the number of non-zero rows in an echelon form is the rank of that matrix. So we are actually tending toward that particular destination. So what we get, this is the new form, and then what we get, look at this, there is minus 3x2, there is x2. So what we can do, we can multiply 3 with this and add this to make it 0. So 3 into 4, that is 12, minus 12 plus 13 is 1, and 3 into 4 is 12, 12 plus of minus 9 is 3. So what we get, there are 3 unknowns, there are 2 unknowns, there are 1 unknown, and similarly the augmented matrix is also having the form of this. Now from the back substitution method, according to the back substitution method, you can decide that your x3 is equal to 3. You can substitute this x3 equal to 3 here, and you can get the value of x2. And you can substitute the value of x3 and x2 in the first equation, you will get the value of x1. So this approach will give you the target of finding the solution of the system. But how we are relating it with the rank, that the consistency. Look at this, it is now in echelon form, the whole matrix. So if you just consider C, then what will be the rank of C? Number of non-zero rows in this echelon form. What is that? It is 3. Very good. Now if I want to find out rank of A, sometimes students makes a mistake that they are taking the matrix A separately and they are calculating the rank of this matrix. You can do it, you will get correct result, but this is not mathematics, because mathematics always requires the preciseness. So precisely we can say that if this is the matrix A and if we don't have any existence of this column, then also the same elementary row operations is going to be applied, because there is no impact of this column in these rows. So you are going to get this particular part as the echelon form of the matrix A. And in this case, you can identify the number of rows, non-zero rows in this echelon form, it is also 3. So just making one matrix, that means the augmented matrix, into its echelon form, you are able to find out the rank of the augmented matrix as well as the rank of the coefficient matrix. And what we are seeing, it is same, so it is consistent. Very good. Now the question is, what type of consistency it is showing, uniqueness or infinitely many? So in the last discussion, last slide, we see that if rank of A is equal to rank of C is equal to number of unknowns, which is here 3, we are getting the ranks are same, and which is nothing but the number of unknowns. So it is giving us this classification that it will be unique. And look at this, we get unique solutions. By putting x3 equal to 3, we will get the value of x2, and by putting the value of x2 and x3, we will get the value of x1. So let us check that what we are getting in this form. If we are substituting this, the value of x3 here, so it will be 3 into 4, that is 12, minus 12 plus 4 is 16, so x2 is equal to 16. And putting the value of x2 and x3 here, x3 is substituted here, so this 0 is converted to minus 3. We will get x1, x2, x3 as 29, 16 and 3. Look at this, when you are changing it, if you continue changing the same thing in the matrix, the echelon form, once it is achieved in the last slide, it will continue to have the echelon forms. Look at this, all are in echelon forms, but the matrix is now converting sequentially into a diagonal one. I am talking about the coefficient matrix. So if it is now converted into a diagonal matrix, this diagonal relationship you can see by directly you can find out the values of x1, x2 and x3. which is nothing but 29, 16 and 3. So you can approach it from this point of view, this point of view and this point of view, or you can approach it from the matrix point of view also. But matrix point of view is very important, because when we are talking about 4 cross 4 system or 4 cross 5 system or something more than that, then it is difficult for us to adjust these things manually, but it is very easy for us to find out the rank of the matrices using echelon form, and then by back substitution we can find out the solution. So we get two things by the application of matrix and rank: the easier approach to convert it into a system, as well as the consistency characteristics of the system. Okay, so the solution is 29, 16 and 3. Now if we continue it by the system 29, 16 and 3, what we got, our job is to check that we have applied one method, whether the thing what we achieve 29, 16 and 3, is it going to be a solution of the original system. We must check it as the verification. At least for some initial practice problems, you please do this, so it will boost up your confidence, as well as it will make the thing clear whether there is any error in the intermediate calculation or not. So this is the initial system where we have started, and we are substituting this, and we are getting that 0 and 8 and -9 are coming for the first equation, second equation and the third equation. Now next question is that, is this system is consistent? Look at this. What we see in the last example, I am taking the same example over here. The system is reduced to the triangular form. Look at this. If you just concentrate on this part, what we get, that this part is all 0 and the principal diagonal is there, and the upper part of the principal diagonal is having some elements which is not equal to 0, but it is guaranteed that the lower part of the principal diagonal is 0. So it is a triangular form. Now look at this. This gives us the confidence, or it is sufficient, that the system is consistent and unique. Why consistent and why unique? Why consistent and why unique? The consistency comes from the concept that we are getting the rank of A. The rank of A and rank of C are same. This is the information which gives us that it is consistent. And from where we are getting that it is unique, because it is 3, because the number of non-zero rows in this echelon form, it is 3. So as rank of A and rank of C is equal to 3, it gives us the information that it is unique. Now one vice versa method, or the reverse or counter example, is going to be exhibited. Look at this. We are having one system like this. So it is also a system of 3 equations with 3 unknowns, and this is the augmented matrix of this particular thing, 8, -1, 0 and so on. So our job is to convert it into its rank, and if we get this thing, it is our matrix, so we are converting it into the first step, second step and so on. Look at this. In this step, is it in echelon form? Is it in echelon form? The answer is yes. So if you want to find out the number of non-zero rows, please concentrate. Number of non-zero rows in the augmented matrix, it is 1, 2, 3. But this is your coefficient matrix, this part. Rather, this is your coefficient matrix, and this is the equivalent part of the coefficient matrix, and this is the equivalent part of the coefficient matrix. So actually coefficient matrix A is also going to be converted gradually into its echelon form. And what we see, that the rank of the coefficient matrix is 2, because number of non-zero rows in this echelon form is 2. So is it not very much clear to us that we are not achieving rank of C is equal to rank of A, rather we are achieving rank of C is not equal to rank of A, which indicates that the system is going to be inconsistent. So up to this, if we observe, then also it is very much clear that the system is inconsistent, and it is not possible for us to get any solution of this system. If you want to verify it, from the general procedure what we are following, that is, look at this. If we want to convert this triangular form into matrix, what we get, x1 minus 2x2 plus 3x3 is equal to this, and this one is this, and 0 into x3 is equal to minus 3. Is it possible? 0 into some number or some value is equal to minus 3? It is never possible. So what we are reaching is in an inconsistent situation, illogical situation. So it is not possible. So as it is not possible, the solution of this system is not possible. That is why this system is inconsistent, means it is not going to give you any solution. Clear? So this original system is inconsistent. It is our conclusion for this from both the point of view, from matrix point of view as well as from the triangular system conversion point of view. So now we are going to give you the assignment on this following system and emphasize on this part if possible. So if it is not possible for you to find out the solution, then you have to justify that why it is not possible for you. That means you have to justify the inconsistency, and if it is consistent, then obviously you have to justify why it is consistent. So only one thing before conclusion, that is ax is equal to b is your given system in matrix form. You have converted it into a slash b, then using elementary row operations you are converting it into a dash slash b dash, and if it is required more, then you are making it a double dash b double dash. And suppose after one more step you get it is a in its echelon form as well as b is in its echelon form. So you can stop here, then you check the equality or not equality part of this one. If it is equal, then also check whether it is unique or many. After classifying this, you have basically two jobs. One is the characterization of the system, and if solution exists, then to find out the solutions. So the first job is performed by this, and if you get it is having characterized that the solution exists, then from this you will generate one system that is a echelon form into x is equal to b echelon form. Please try to understand. From this, if you are again converting it into system of linear equation, then it is a echelon form x is equal to b echelon form. From this, the solution what you are getting, it is the solution of this system, but you are claiming that this is going to be the solution of this system also. How you are claiming? You are claiming it is the solution of this system as well as this system is same, because if you just recall the class of consistency inconsistency, you will see that this one keeping this same, this one and keeping this same, this one, all are equivalent because we are having this one and this one, these positions are same, that means the same set of solutions. So this system you have started, then you have converted into this system, then you have converted into this system, no issue. The problem is that if it is the solution of this system and if they are equivalent, then you can claim that this is the solution of this system as well as the system of this, the solution of this system also. So I think it is clear. So what we have discussed basically two types of problem. One where solution is unique, and another one where there is no solution. So I think you have a question in your mind, sir, what is the case for infinitely many solutions? We will discuss it in the next class. So I think today's class is clear. These references we have used to prepare this lecture, and I am thanking you all for your patience. Happy listening, happy learning.